Let's start this meeting. It is 7:04, and I'm calling the July 15th meeting of the Altadena Town Council to order. I will turn this over to Vice Chair Arnzen.
Thank you, Chair. This October, the Altadena Town Council will mark 50 years serving the community. In honor of that benchmark, each month this year, we've been asking previous council members to join us and introduce our flag salute honorees. Tonight, I'm happy to have with us my friend and former council member, Doug Cauliflower. Over the past 2 decades, Doug sat on council for 2 terms and came back years later because he's a glutton for punishment for an additional 2 terms. During all of those 4 terms, he proudly sat on our active and effective land use committee, applying his incredible realtor skills in a way that protected the integrity and spirit of our town. Doug's been active in the community through a number of organizations and efforts, including sitting on the Chamber of Commerce board for about 30 years and 2 terms as president. He has been a member of Altadena Rotary since 2017, where he is currently the chair of the incredible Summer Concert Committee, leading it back against the odds to return this summer, just 6 months out of the devastating events of January 7th. Bringing our still displaced residents back together with joyful connection. So always a positive and reasonable voice and a great advocate for our community. Please welcome Doug Cauliflower. Consider this a huge round of applause, Doug.
I'll do it, Nick. Very kind. Thank you very much. Nice to see everybody. Tonight I have the honor of introducing Colonel Sonny B. Avichal, Commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Norfolk District, a decorated Army engineer officer with over 2 decades of service. Colonel Avichal has led operations across the U.S. and around the world, including Iraq, Korea, Germany, and Africa. He holds degrees in civil engineering and national security strategy and is a licensed professional engineer. He was deployed to the Eaton Fire Recovery to oversee the massive debris removal process and arrived here on February 11th. We are privileged to have him with us tonight to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Colonel. And I'm going to take the reins like I've always dreamed of. Next up on the agenda, which I don't have in front of me. Does anyone have the agenda in front of them?
We have the roll call by Kim.
Thank you. Please do the roll call. That would be Council Member You.
Thank you, Nick.
Good evening, council members. As I call your name, please stay here or present, or you can raise your hand if you're Connor Cipolla.
Present.
Victoria Knapp. Nick Arnzen.
Present.
Melissa Morona.
Present.
Dorothy Wong.
Here.
John Carmody.
Present.
Darlene Green.
Present.
Isis Molden.
Present.
Fina Musson is an excused absence. Vi Yvette Stewart Gordon.
Present.
Pat Sutherland. Reggie Wilkins. Diane Markison.
Here.
Sylvia Vega.
Here.
Looks like everyone but Jafina is here.
And she's excused, Councilmember You.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Turning it over to Vice Chair Arnzen for the agenda approval.
Thank you, Chair. Fellow council and community members, tonight's agenda was sent out to the community on Friday, July 11th through our community partners, social media, and posted to our websites. It included directions to submit public comment. As a reminder, comments received through noon today will be read into record during our public comments section. Public comments are limited to 2 minutes. Council members, the Altadena Town Council Executive Committee met on Thursday, July 3rd to set the agenda for tonight's meeting. That agenda was circulated to you on Friday, July 11th. I did receive one addition. Council members note that under item 9, I believe, census tract reports. Yep. We've got one addition. We'll make it 9.2. That's census tract report 4611. Are there any other modifications tonight? Seeing none, I move that we accept the agenda with said changes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of approving the agenda as amended, raise your hand or say aye. Anybody? Okay, that's anybody opposing? Any abstentions? I see hands up for Councilmember Green. Can you put your hand down? Okay, great. Great.
Councilmember Carmody
Yeah,
is abstaining.
I wasn't here last month.
Yep.
Hold on. We're not approving the minutes. We're approving the agenda. We only need to abstain from the minutes if you weren't here last month.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, so you okay with it? Great. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnzen. Moving on to my chair report, which I will make brief because we do have a packed agenda and we started late. I did just want to thank the community at Elliott for coming out as we bid farewell to the Elliott Auditorium. It is mostly demolished now, along with the 6th grade wing. Colonel Avacha will talk a little bit more about that, but it was an extremely moving ceremony because we had children who were students at Elliott who were able to come and talk about how important the auditorium was to them. After that, we commemorated the 6-month anniversary from the fire, which was on July 7th. That commemoration started at the time that the fire started at 6:18 p.m. We honored the memories of those we lost to this fire, and we came together in community, in song, and in poetry. It was quite moving, and I would say healing for those who were there. We also had a chance to do some chalk art in the asphalt at Grocery Outlet, and we thank Jose and Sandra for allowing us to hold it there. Transitioning away from that, I just wanted to take a moment to thank Councilmember Vega for her work in chairing the Education Committee. She will be stepping out of her role as chair with my deep gratitude. And I would like to take this opportunity to appoint Councilmember Molden as chair of the Education Committee. And she will give a report later on in this meeting. That is it for me. Thank you so much. Turning it over to Councilmember Arnzen.
Thank you, Chair. Just 2 quick items, both positive reflections of the hard work of this council and our community members. For months now, Chair Knapp, Councilmember Stuart Gordon, and myself, along with Congresswoman Judy Chu's office, have been pushing for a promise by USPS to return to Altadena and for a temporary postal counter to be set up. After 6 months of advocating, we are happy to report that our concerted efforts, combined with a recent push by county, Anders Corey in particular, has led to an agreement with Webster's to host a postal counter. This is great news, and if you are able to help us to celebrate, there will be an official opening of the counter tomorrow morning, Wednesday, July 16th at 10:30 a.m. Webster's is an important long-loved staple of our community and is located at 2333 North Lake. Additionally, I want to point out that thanks to the efforts of Councilmember Molden, her election committee, and my fellow council members, we have had an abundant turnout of qualified and worthy applicants for tonight's special election. This is especially meaningful since I think we all know that during these times, these willing volunteers continue to struggle with the recovery and rebuild of our town. And yet here they are showing up to volunteer. I really appreciate that. I also want to remind the candidates and the public listening that this council has a healthy number of committees that are always strengthened by community members looking for opportunities to help their community, from education to communication to legislation and so many others. You are sure to find something that fits your passion and skills. So Your opinion always matters when shaping our town's present and future, so please come aboard. You can find a list of those committees and the names of the chairs to contact on our website, which is altadena.towncouncil.org. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair Arnzen. Recording Secretary Yu.
Council members, on July 11th, I sent out the meeting minutes for our June meeting. And so far I have not received any changes or corrections by email. Are there any here at this meeting? Councilmember Molden?
It's for our interns' names. I'm going to drop the correct spelling in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
Are we approving the minutes as amended with the correct spelling of the names?
Sounds
I-
like
I
there
move
are
to-
no other changes. Any other changes besides the two names? Hearing none, I move to approve the minutes with the updates.
Second.
Great. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those abstaining? Councilmember Carmody, is that the only council member we were missing last month that's with us tonight? It appears so. And anybody opposing? No. So we have only one abstention. Thank you so much for that, Councilmember Yu. Moving on to our treasurer report, Councilmember Morona.
Thank you. I am going to put up on the chat, which somebody else could put into YouTube, hopefully, our Zelle, because we are a group of volunteers, and the way that our council is funded is through the great donations of our community. So we appreciate any donations that are given. And if you'd like to make just any donation and you don't have Zelle, please get in contact with me and I'll make sure your donation is accepted. The closing balance for last month was $2,839. We had Google Office fees of $280. We did receive an election deposit of $35 by Zelle, which will either continue to stay in our balance or be refunded depending upon the status of the outcome of the election this evening, making our, the opening balance was $3,084, making our closing balance $2,839. I'll put it up in the chat so that it's not as confusing as what I just said, but that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your report. Corresponding Secretary Chipola.
Hi, everyone. In the interest of time, I concede my report.
Councilmember Chipola, I thought you had something to deliver on behalf of the Rotary that was emailed in.
Oh, I was going to do it during public comment.
Oh, you're going to do it during public comment. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for that. Okay, without further ado, we are moving on. It is my privilege to welcome Supervisor Catherine Barger to tonight's meeting, someone who has not only represented the 5th District with dedication, but who has shown Altadena what true partnership and responsive leadership look like in the wake of devastation. In the aftermath of the Eaton fire, Supervisor Barger showed up for Altadena, not just in word, but in action. Her leadership, responsiveness, and guidance helped bring much needed support and resources to aid in our recovery and rebuild. In the months since the fire, the supervisor has been a driving force behind real, tangible support for our recovery. She brought forward critical board motions that laid the foundation for our rebuilding. She was instrumental in creating the Community Coalition for Altadena Recovery, or CCAR, to ensure community voices lead the way. She helped launch the Altadena Recovery and Rebuild Corporation, known as ARC. Supervisor Barger also stood up a dedicated one-stop permit center to make the rebuilding process easier. She established a partnership with the Foothill Catalog to offer pre-approved building plans. She led the change to defer permits the charge to defer permits, easing the financial burden for those working to return home. And just today, she announced the addition of Archistar, the new eCheck AI pilot, allowing building plans to be automatically reviewed for compliance, thus saving time. Supervisor Barger, thank you for your unwavering attention to Altadena, for the steady hand and heart you brought to our recovery. We are deeply grateful for your stewardship.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. But first and foremost, it's not me and Nick. Thank you for acknowledging Anders. But this has been us working together. I could not do it without, Victoria, Nick, I am so grateful for your leadership on the days after the fire. And so I want to thank you. I couldn't do it alone. And I am deeply proud of my partnership with the Altadena Town Council and our ongoing really work to help the community. We are working closely on a lot of pressing issues, and I'm glad to share the latest updates with you this evening. I'm going to read because I just came out of a board meeting, so the board is still going on, but I left because I really felt this was important for me to be here tonight. It's now been 6 months since the Eaton fire, and in that time, we've made absolutely incredible progress together. The Army Corps has cleared more than 10,000 properties, on pace to finish clearing wildfire debris by the end of the summer, something that no one thought could be done, setting a record for the speed and scale of this effort. The county has delivered $27 million in aid for impacted households, workers, and small businesses. FEMA has approved another $140 million in direct assistance. I know many survivors are still facing tough challenges, and there is a long road ahead. But I am encouraged by what we've accomplished so far, and it gives me really the shot in the arm to keep fighting to move forward. With rebuilding as my core focus, I'm proud to share an important roadmap that will guide our path forward. We've launched LA County Forward, the blueprint for rebuilding, a clear 6-pillar plan to help Altadena rebuild faster, safer, and stronger. The pillars are: number 1, making rebuilding financially possible. We're waiving permit fees so homeowners aren't stuck with that burden. 2, we're accelerating permitting and inspections. We've launched faster reviews, added staff, and are introducing, as Victoria said, AI-powered tools to speed things up. And we'll have more on that in a moment. Number 3, we're expanding access to builders and materials. We're growing the pool of contractors, offering pre-approved designs, and working to stabilize supply chain. This is vital and is going to be the difference between the cost per square footage. If we can really capitalize and get this done in a way that will allow the volume to offset the cost of what we know is growing as it relates to the cost of materials. Number 4, we're investing in infrastructure. That means undergrounding more than 150 miles of power and telecom lines and restoring critical utilities like water, something that this town council has advocated long before the fires. 5, mobilizing the workforce. We're partnering with state programs to make sure trained workers are ready to build. And 6, restoring community services. We're working to bring back schools, parks, childcare, services for seniors, and everything that makes a community whole. This is our roadmap forward, and I am eager to make good on all of these promises. With a laser focus on rebuilding, I also want to touch on an issue that has been in the news, a potential reconstruction authority for LA County. Supervisor Horvath recently introduced a motion that was approved by our board that asked for a review of legal authorities needed to create such a structure, focused on rebuilding for all the cities and communities impacted by the January 2025 fires. In recent months, there has been much discussion about recovery efforts across the county, including the Blue Ribbon Commission formed by Supervisor Horvath. While I recognize the value in dialogue and planning, I want to be transparent by stating that I am not part of the commission, nor do I fully agree with all of their recommendations. I also want to note that their ideas are not new. I've spent many hours evaluating the need for an authority, agency, or organization that is fully dedicated to the rebuilding of Altadena. with my team and the county's executive leadership. My approach has always been grounded in the specific needs of Altadena, based on direct feedback from residents, local leaders, and the boots on the ground realities we're based together since the earliest days of this disaster. Again, I want to emphasize that the Blue Ribbons Commission is separate from any dialogue I've had. I know the governor's office has been looking at this, but it's been laser focused on Altadena. My commitment has been a bottom-up approach based on the needs of the community. The challenge ahead of the county is clear: rebuilding public infrastructure, restoring services, and supporting the families and small businesses that make up the heart of this community. As you all know, county departments serve over 10 million residents across Los Angeles County. That's why I believe we need dedicated staffing, accountability, and resources solely for Altadena's rebuilding. So we're not competing with or trying to take resources from other communities across the county. A reconstruction authority would be the vehicle to deliver this commitment. A model already exists that proves the value of this kind of focused effort: the Altadena One-Stop Permitting Center. At the center, we brought together the county permitting departments along with Southern California Edison, all under one roof. The county teams assigned to the One-Stop are fully dedicated to the rebuilding of Altadena and are focused on that effort. With the establishment of the One-Stop, we have reduced permitting times, although I want to bring them down even farther. But more importantly, we have the departments collaboratively cut down on unnecessary processes that would otherwise bog down rebuilding. In fact, today is the launch of our partnership with Archistar. This is an AI-powered software tool which is going to allow property owners free access to the program that will ensure that the plans that say they submit to the county are compliant with our building and code and our land use and zoning laws, something that will automatically flag if there's like a minor change that needs to be made so it doesn't get submitted and then sent back. Arcstar will catch it and you can correct it before it's submitted. The Altadena One-Stop team has been working on the background to ensure that the tool incorporates these codes into the programming so that they can effectively provide feedback for those looking to rebuild. The goal is for Arcstar to ensure plans are submitted to the county, meet all the requirements so that they can be approved on the first submittal. Right now, too many plans are being returned with comments, which creates a delay. While these comments are focusing on life safety issues, it takes time for plans to be resubmitted by the applicants. There is still work to be done to make this process more efficient, but the structure in place is to ensure that all can be done correctly. So that's the model we need to scale up for utilities, public infrastructure, permitting, inspections, and most importantly, coordination across all agencies. To do this work effectively, we need dedicated resources for Altadena. Again, dedicated resources for Altadena. That includes more plan checkers and permitting staff, a major expansion in capacity for inspections, real-time coordination across all utilities for restoration, and rebuilding critical infrastructure. Unlike the city of LA, the county does not have authority or control over water and power. We have to work with Southern California Edison, and then we work with the 3 water companies that are mutual water companies that serve Altadena in addition to Pasadena Water and Power. This effort to coordinate the work needed to repair, restore, and underground facilities across these agencies and the county will require close coordination to ensure that we can leverage the economies of scale to drastically reduce the cost of delivering critical infrastructure and services. This is an opportunity for us to do that. Without this coordination, we risk costly delays, duplicated work, and community frustration. We're also facing a fiscal reality that is uncertain. The county budget has faced tremendous challenges in recent months, and the critical funding needed to restore public and civic infrastructure is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. We cannot afford to wait for federal disaster aid, which may not arrive for some time. That is why we must find a way to leverage economics of scale to reduce cost, bundle construction projects, and maximize purchasing power, and be smart and efficient with the dollars that we already have. And I want to emphasize one critical point. Unlike the Blue Ribbon Commission that Supervisor Horvath put into play, my vision for recovery does not include new taxes or added cost for homeowners. In fact, my goal is to use the county's leverage and partnerships to bring down costs for individuals, whether through expedited permits, shared infrastructure planning, universal trenching, or bulk purchasing for materials and services. We're looking for ways to make this process easier and more affordable, not more expensive. There's been important progress at the state level to give counties the tools they need to rebuild. And I want to publicly again thank the governor for being an incredible partner and hearing what I've been saying regarding the needs of Altadena. SB 549 by Senator Ben Allen would provide counties the legal authority to create reconstruction entities and streamline procurement. SB 782 by Senator Sasha Perez would allow for faster formation of EIFDs, which is an enhanced infrastructure financing district. This is what replaced the state where we could waive the assessments on properties in order to bring blighted areas back onto the tax roll. To be clear, EIFDs do not create new taxes. They allow us to capture future growth in property tax revenue and reinvest it here in Altadena. I want to make that clear. I want to say it again. The EIFD will not create new taxes. It will allow us to capture future growth in property tax revenue and reinvest it in Altadena for roads, sewers, utilities, and other public infrastructure. There are currently 6 EIFDs in LA County, 2 of which were created in the 5th District since 2020. These districts are a great resource of financing capacity to help fund improvements in public infrastructure without directly impacting the county's budget. This rebuild will require a level of coordination no one agency can do alone. We will need public and private sector coordination for the rebuilding of homes. Large-scale contractor yards and material storage yards will be needed to ensure we do not have confusion and chaos with the delivery of materials and services during construction. County departments, public and private utilities, and private contractors rebuilding homes will need to move in sync. State and federal partners will also need to align with our local needs. That's why I believe we need a dedicated team whose sole mission is rebuilding Altadena with speed, transparency, and community input. I am committed to delivering a recovery effort that meets the scale of this disaster. I believe a reconstruction authority is the tool we need to get there, one that's focused, accountable, and built for this community. Again, do not confuse it with the Blue Ribbon Commission and what they're doing. This is focused on Altadena. And as I'm emphasizing the need for partnerships, I also want to touch base on the Altadena Recovery and Rebuild Corporation. ARC's priority is driving the efficient and effective collaboration between private enterprise, philanthropy, government, and the community. The community has and always will be ARC's central focus. The organization was built with the objective of identifying private sector and philanthropic solutions that will lead to a more efficient and comprehensive rebuild. My goal is to also maintain focus and urgency around the Altadena recovery as we move forward. Because it's an independent organization, ARC will be able to act more nimbly to establish partnerships with organizations and companies who can serve our residents. ARC has already begun collaborating with many organizations on the front lines of recovery. The ARC board is still being finalized, but is comprised of Altadena residents and leaders in philanthropy and the private sector who can deliver meaningful solutions and services to the community. As I have said many times, Altadena has my undivided focus and prioritization. ARC is an extension of that. Altadena continues to be front and center for me every single day. And to that point, one of the things that Anders is the exec director of ARC, that he worked on was securing the post office at Webster's. It was important for us to bridge the gap between the federal and the local, and it wasn't getting done. And we were able to finish that and bring it across the finish line. So with that, I am forever grateful. I know that's a lot of information, but I felt the authority. I wake up early and go down that rabbit hole of reading on internet. And I know that the authority has been an incredible source of confusion. Mayor Bass and I have talked. She's not on board with what wants to be done on that side of town. But I have made it clear to the governor that anything we do is only centered on Altadena, and it's involving the community, a bottom-up approach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Barger. That is a lot of information, but very good information. You're getting a round of applause that you probably can't hear or see. And I certainly appreciate you stepping out of the supervisors meeting in order to address the community and the council. And we'll look for the success of Archistar and some of the other initiatives that are being launched. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll be submitting my own rebuilding plans next week, and we will see how that goes.
Got it.
Thank you so much.
All right. And again, thank you. I love Steve Lopez's article. Yeah, he really encapsulated really what's going on. So good job. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you for being here. All right, folks, that was a lot of information. This meeting is recorded, so you'll be able to catch it later if you need any refreshers. We are going to move on to our public safety reports. First up is Altadena Sheriff Station Acting Captain Marquez.
Thank you, Chair Knapp. I just want to go over some of the latest crime stats through June. We're down in every category, and as far as crime is concerned, I have a graph to show the community about the residential burglaries. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. Let's see.
Go ahead.
Can you see the graph? Is that?
It's coming up. Here it is.
Yep. Yeah. So in December of 2024, we had 12 residential burglaries. And as you can see, when the fires happened, they spiked pretty good. They came down a little bit, but this dip here is, it's either they're reporting it late in January and they're reporting late in March for February. We think that's kind of what's happening there. But as you can see, we've got a downward trend. And in June, we finished with 10 residential burglaries. So we were below December. So we're going in the right direction. We're still working towards that. And we're going to continue our efforts. We don't want you to think that by any means that we're done or our deputies are not going to be proactive and trying to suppress any kind of crime, especially we want to continue with the things we've been doing. And we're going to continue with all of that. But like I said, everything is down in every category right now. I do have a couple other things to share besides just the crime. Some of the things we're doing today, I had a meeting with all of our local captains and chiefs of police. We're starting a new thing where we're meeting monthly for breakfast just to talk about the issues that we're facing and collectively try to work together. So especially if there's another situation that we had in January, that there's a response that all of us know each other and we can all react in the same manner. So I can pick up the phone and call, say, Pasadena, and they know me very well, and we can have an active a conversation that's more than just a professional conversation. We know each other at a little bit better level. I think that's important. We also included JPL in that, and our partners over at Crescent Valley and some other partners as well. We do have a town hall meeting come July 23rd at the Altadena Library. It starts at 6 p.m. So we'd like to invite the community out. I'll be presenting some things, and then the community is always welcome to ask questions there. National Night Out is August 2nd at Loma Alta Park. It's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be the lower parking lot. And we figured just because we wanted to include it on a Saturday, usually it's during the week, but we know that a lot of people have moved out of the community, and we figured that having it on the weekend would give the opportunity for most residents that are not presently in Altadena to return and join us at the park. So that we are trying to include as many people as we could in that. We also started a new thing. I really want to involve the deputies with the community, and I want to build bridges with the community and the deputies so that the community can really get to meet them on a different level. So on Thursday, we have I think it's for the first time, one of our deputies will be reading a book to children at the library. And so we're working with Altadena Libraries on that. We're going to try to do this once a month, and then we have one of our deputies got really excited when he heard, and he wants to be able to read a book in Spanish. So I'm looking forward to hearing that as well. And that goes back to what I just said about having our deputies more engaged with the community and having the ability for the deputies to really meet with the members of the community outside of a call for service. We had our walk with a cop, kind of like coffee with a cop, but we had it at El Patron next door to our station. And so we were trying to be cute with the name and kind of encourage people to come out. And it was just, chips and salsa and guacamole with your deputies. And a lot of people came out, and that was really successful. We have our bus pool that we had to cancel last month. That's going to happen on August 23rd. And we're still we have a location that we thought about. We're going to change the location. We think we found a great location, but we will be announcing the location shortly. But it's going to be a bus pool, and it's going to be helping to raise money for the community. I know Nick is really excited to pull the bus. He challenged me to a faster bus pull, so we'll see if we can do that. And then did I already talk about the run on January 4th? Yes or no? I got confused. No. Okay. So we're going to do we had planned on having what we call a mug run. The Sheriff's Department has a number of different runs throughout every station. As we build up to this big race we call Baker to Vegas, and it helps get all the deputies in shape. And there are 10K, 5Ks, and 10Ks. And we had it set for February 1st, but obviously we know that there was a fire, and we had to cancel that, and we planned on doing that in the fall. But I thought that Sunday, January 4th is when we're planning on it right now. It's going to be right before the anniversary of the fires, and it's going to be we're going to be putting out to basically the running community in Southern California. We expect to get a lot of help from the different running groups, and we think it's going to be a very, very large run. It's going to be through the streets of Altadena, and I hope that everybody in the community come out. It's going to be a fundraiser for the community, and we'll be donating a large portion of the funds to a couple different organizations so they can distribute the money how they see fit. And then, of course, we're still continuing with parking enforcement. We do have a number of storage containers. If you have a storage container and you'd like to put it on the street, you have to pull a permit with the County of Los Angeles. It's a very expensive permit from what I've seen on their publications. Please do not put the storage containers on the street without a permit. We are working with Public Works to enforce that, and they will be removed if they are not taken off. We're trying to go to when we see one, we try to contact the residents, kind of educate them on the rules on that. We don't want to be removing them, but it's creating a traffic hazard for a lot of cars. And I think that's kind of it. I know I took a lot of time, and I don't want to do that, so I know it's going to be a packed agenda. If there's any questions, let me know.
Are there any questions for Captain Marquez? I see Councilmember Molden. Go ahead.
Hi, Captain. Could you speak a little bit about storage of cars on streets and the process that the residents should do if they notice that a car's been staying a little bit longer than the 72-hour window?
That's great. Now, we understand that, residents park their cars in the streets. You go on a vacation, you may leave your car in the street or whatever. That's not what we're looking for necessarily. It's mostly the cars that you can drive by and you see that obviously have not been moved for a while. There is an ordinance within the county and the state where you can only park your car for 72 hours without moving it. So if that's the case and you see one, please call the station. We will have somebody come out, either a deputy or parking enforcement come out. They red tag the car. They give the resident an opportunity to move it. And if it's not moved within that 72-hour window, then a citation will be issued, or it may be stored with a tow company. So it just depends on the situation. But please, we try to be very helpful with the residents, especially during this time. We're not just out there trying to just ticket everybody and just tow all the cars off the street. But obviously, if it's a car has been there, dust is built up all over it, looks like it hasn't been moved in months, then we're going to probably end up towing that car off the street.
Thank you for that. I don't see any other hands, but I did want to ask one other question because I know it's come up. Can we talk a little bit about the partnership that the sheriff station has with CHP and why folks might see an increase in patrols by CHP?
Yes, that was one of our crime plans. When we had the number of trucks that, we had hundreds and hundreds of trucks in Altadena during the debris removal, and many of the trucks were running stop signs. I'd seen them run red lights. I'd seen them do really going excessively fast, especially down Lake. And I remember being out running and I saw one of the trucks do it. And, I'm just out running. I'm not in any capacity to conduct a traffic stop. So I know that the CHP does commercial enforcement. They do what's called DOT inspections. And all the trucks, if you're a commercial vehicle, you have to be able to pass, you have to have a commercial driver's license, and you have to be able to pass what's called the Department of Transportation inspection. So those trucks can be pulled over without even committing a violation by a DOT inspector. And those are guys that are usually driving those pickup trucks. The highway patrol guys driving the pickup trucks, and they pull those. They can pull the commercial vehicles over and do what's called the DOT inspection and make sure that their vehicle is up, their equipments are up to standards, so that they do not crash due to a mechanical failure. If those trucks, when they were fully loaded, they had two different types of dump trucks. They had the regular dump trucks and they had the super trucks, and they weighed anywhere from 50 to 80,000 pounds. And an 80,000-pound truck is the same as a large tractor trailer fully loaded on the freeway. And you can just imagine 80,000-pound truck going 35, 40 miles an hour down Lake, running the stop sign and crashing into a 3,000-pound car, what the devastation is going to be like. And that was our biggest concern. And
Captain
now,
Marquez, can I interrupt just to say that I know that we've got CHP coming up and I know they're going to want to speak about this, but I just wanted to talk mostly about what's happening now in terms of the number of patrol vehicles and the traffic enforcement that's happening.
That was one of that they're just doing traffic enforcement. I asked them to be here. Traffic enforcement is a great tool to use, especially when we're trying to really drive down the crime stats. As long as you are not going California rolls, California stops at stop signs, you shouldn't have any problems. But that was one of our crime fighting mechanisms.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Just to alert the citizenry, and I will vouch for the fact that they are out in force. I got pulled over last week for not doing anything wrong, as the dash cam video would prove, Councilmember Arnzen. However, it was a nice conversation with the CHP officer. Thank you so much for your report. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being so thorough. We are going to move on to California Highway Patrol. I know that we have many of them here. I'm not sure if it's going to be Officer Keller, Officer Bay, who is it going to be? Keller?
I'll start.
Okay,
Officer
go ahead.
Bay's here if there's questions I cannot answer.
Great.
All right. Good evening, council members and members of the community. Normally we give a traffic report. Unfortunately, our dashboard reporting was down. Officer Bay tried to pull it up prior to this meeting. As we try to get to you guys beforehand, but we've been very busy with other tasks. So we will get those reports to you as soon as possible. As the sheriff spoke about, we are still having our enforcement in the unincorporated Altadena area. We deploy multiple officers and a sergeant, as well as those MRE trucks to do enforcement on the big rig trucks and commercial vehicles. You'll continue to see us in the area, so please stay off the cell phones, buckle those seatbelts, and drive at a safe speed. I know you have a lot on the agenda, so I'll keep it short. Are there any questions for me?
Council members, if you have a question, please raise your hand. I did want to acknowledge that I received a comment from Census Tract 4610, thanking you for the increased patrolling on Figueroa. It has not gone unnoticed and it has been helpful, so thank you very much for that. Council members, are there any questions?
And if there are any specific areas where you're seeing speed or stop sign violations, please let us know. Send myself or Officer Bay an email and we'll do extra enforcement.
Where are the speed trailers?
I believe Bay can answer that. He was just moving those around today.
Hi. Oh, good evening, everybody. I am horizontal, vertical. Sorry, getting used to this.
Stop moving.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. That's perfect.
Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Officer Bay, CHP. So we did have a radar trailer be deployed. There we go. On Lincoln Avenue. However, it's one of the ones that is kind of finicky when it comes to the solar panels on top. So over time, it lost some juice. So I have to kind of charge it up, and then once I charge it up, I relocate it. So it's currently on Ventura, I believe Avenue or Ventura Street, just west of Lincoln. I know that we have some speed bumps there, and Franklin Elementary was once there. But I was doing some enforcement in the area, and I saw that there was a lot of speed coming down, more than 25 miles an hour down that stretch of road to maybe another place of employment. So I elected to move it there. We do have another radar trailer that I'm aiming to deploy on Altadena Drive. That'll be done shortly. So currently we just have one in the community, but I'm planning on deploying the other one on Altadena.
Thank you for that. I also wanted to thank you for being here and for Officer Keller for being here. I know today was a difficult day as it was the funeral for your fallen officer. So thank you so much for being here, and our condolences to you and the entire department.
Chair, we have a question from Councilmember Wong.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, I know, with the U.S. Army Corps really sort of winding down, that we're going to be seeing more sort of independent contractor trucks and residents moving around. So I guess I'm just sharing a concern overall that, turning trucks and all of those things that might not be, handled as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, that the whole program happened. I'm feeling like it could be a free-for-all. So maybe it's some reminders to the truck drivers that, the way they turn, or even pedestrians, people walking, could be a really dangerous situation. So do you have any quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the MREs that we have in the area, they're going to continue to be in the area. We know this is going to be a long process to rebuild, as well as still remove debris. We don't have an end date for removing those additional officers or commercial vehicle enforcement guys out there. So we'll be there. And like I said, if you see anything out of the ordinary or specific areas or companies, let us know and we'll address it.
Thank you for that, Officer Keller. And I just wanted to also mention that there are a number of departments that are looking at this. Once the Army Corps moves out, they've been a single point of contact for us. We are no longer going to have that with the diversity of contractors and utilities and all of that tradesmen in the area. So we're working on possible ways to make sure that folks that are in this community obey the laws of this community. So thanks for your question and thank you for your answer, Officer Keller. Any other questions? We are going to move on to LA County Fire. Did I see Maria? Did I? There she is. Go ahead.
You did.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I have the stats for June. For the month of June, we had 184 total responses in Altadena. 136 of those were for medical calls, and we transported 113 patients. We had one fire on June 14th, and it was a vehicle fire in the area of Washington and Altadena Drive. 6 service calls, 2 hazardous condition calls, and 39 good intent calls. And our safety tip of the month, luckily, it seems like this heat wave, the really bad part of it, is over, but it's probably going to get hot again. So we just want to make sure people are protecting themselves against heat-related injuries, making sure that they stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, wear appropriate clothing. If you're going to be out in the sun and the heat, make sure your clothing is lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting. Make sure you're wearing sunscreen. If you engage in outdoor activities, do so before noon or after dusk, and pace yourself and rest in shaded areas. And a lot of people get a lot of heat cramps, heat exhaustion. It's just not worth it. And the best way to get around that is not to do those strenuous exercises when it is so hot out, and to just make sure you have enough water. And that is it, unless there's questions.
That was me being muted. Are there any questions for fire? Raise your hand if there are. There are 2 screens. Let me go back to screen 1. Okay. Maria, you got off easy this time. No questions for fire tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, guys, we are going to move on to our community reports. Before we start, I know that Colonel Avichal is here, and I believe I'm trying to see where you are because I'm on 2 screens. Where did you go, Sonny?
In the back.
There you are. Okay, and is that Prashant with you?
Yes.
That's nice.
Yep,
It's nice. It's nice to meet you, sir. Before I turn this over to you, I'm going to take a bit of privilege, and I have a certificate of recognition for Prashant, as well as one for you, and I would like to read those now. If you'll indulge me, I will read the one for Prashant first, and then we will get this to you through Colonel Avichal. Certificate of recognition presented to Prashant Khanna. With heartfelt gratitude, Altadena recognizes your leadership and the exceptional work of ECC in coordinating the Herculean task of debris removal following the Eaton fire. Managing hundreds of crews and trucks with precision and care, your efforts brought much needed momentum to our recovery. Your seamless partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was exactly what our community needed in a time of crisis. Thank you for helping to lay the groundwork, literally and figuratively, for Altadena's rebuilding. So that's what yours will look like when it comes to you. Oh, I can't get close enough. Okay, wait. There it is. Okay. And the community feels definitely like they have not been able to thank the contractors and those working at ECC first directly. So we certainly wanted to take the time to do that. So thank you very much. Secondly, a certificate of recognition presented to Colonel Sonny Avichal. I'm going to really try, Sonny. On behalf of, I know, and I already know what you're going to say, so don't say it. Okay. On behalf of a grateful Altadena, we extend our deepest appreciation for your honorable leadership, compassion, and tireless commitment in overseeing the debris removal following the devastating Eaton fire. Your presence here came at a great personal sacrifice, and your sensitivity to the needs of our community never went unnoticed. Through your professionalism and efficiency, you brought not only progress, but healing. Your impact will be remembered long after the last truck has rolled out. Thank you. All right. Everybody's clapping. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. And now I will turn the floor over to you.
Okay, well, I will, I'll start with my normal update, and then I do have a couple words at the very end here. So, so my normal update, just talk about debris numbers and where we are in terms of the overall progress of the mission. So in terms of those that have opted in to the program, so 5,609 have opted into the program, with 530 personnel who have opted out. To date, we have cleared the fire ash and debris from 5,512, which accounts for 98% of our current workload. And then those that we have completed and returned the rights of entry back to the county, it's 5,437, or 97% of the total workload. Currently, we have 12 debris removal crews operating in the Eaton footprint. So a couple specific updates. So the Altadena Golf Course, as we've said before, but I'll say it another time, we have stopped all incoming debris trucks to the golf course. So right now we are demobilizing from the golf course. So that means we are taking out all of the crushing equipment that's already been removed. We have just a few piles of mulch, as well as, I see the clapping sign, so thank you. But we have a few piles of mulch in the back, and then I think one more set of scales as well. And then from that, we will start the restoration process. Again, I don't have a firm timetable for how long that restoration will take, but we are very closely working with LA County Parks and Recreation, and we're committed to making sure that we return that facility to the condition it was in before we converted into a TDSR. And then next, I'll talk about Elliott School. So Chair Knapp has already talked a little bit about it, but I want to give a little bit more detail. So this project, again, this is a much more detailed and technical debris removal that we're doing. Initial schedule is about 3 months. Maybe right now we are still on schedule. So that puts us sometime in September, mid to late September. Again, as we continue on through the process, we will keep the community up to date. But as we talked about, the auditorium is mostly taken down right now, and I think we are working towards that 6th grade wing as well. So then lastly here, as part of my general updates, I did want to introduce, he's on the Zoom meeting right now, but it is Lieutenant Colonel David Wirt, who's coming out of Portland. He is coming here, and he will be taking over my position. Oh, there he is. He will be taking over my position when I leave, I think on or around August 8th is when I'll be leaving Altadena and actually going to Hawaii for a nice vacation. So again, David, I'm not going to make him say anything right now, but he will be my replacement. So before I leave, I just wanted to say just a couple things because this will be my last town council meeting. So first and foremost, I want to talk about kind of the amazing partnership that we've had throughout this operation, throughout this mission so far. I've been amazingly blessed to have the partners that we have had at the county level, the state level, the federal level, and especially with this town council itself. Victoria, you have been an absolutely amazing partner through this whole thing. Nick as well. And even though we did get a lot of complaints about the trucks, Lieutenant Marquez has been great as well. And I just want to say this has been amazing to work with you all towards really just a common goal and common mission. And that doesn't happen everywhere. So just thank you for working with me. And then lastly, or not lastly, but next I'll talk about the community. The community in Altadena, Pasadena, Sierra Madre has been really amazing to be a part of. You've shown us grace with all of our trucks. You've shown us support with the crews, on each individual parcel, bringing donuts, bringing drinks, just showing that we are welcome in your town and in your community. And then, what strikes me most about Altadena is just how you all have banded together when times were tough. It's a very resilient community. It's where neighbors still get together on their streets and have barbecues, and where this community and this group here works extremely hard to regain that sense of community by doing things like having concerts and reasons for everybody to get together. It speaks to your resilience and your support for each other. And I really do look forward to coming back to Altadena in the coming years. Altadena, you all had my heart. Oof. Gosh, didn't know that was coming. And then I look forward to watching this community rebuild and thrive again. And then lastly, I just want to say, we're not done yet. We still have that last few percent. Lieutenant Colonel Wart will see this through till the finish line. And we are 100% committed to doing this safely and then treating that last property with the same care and compassion as we treated the first property in Altadena. So with that, I will just hand it over to Prashant.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Colonel. I think I'll just have a few words, basically echoing a lot what the Colonel just said. ECC, we're just proud to be supporting the Army Corps of Engineers on this critical mission. And going off what Colonel said, we were so impressed how resilient this community is and how they have welcomed us here considering the circumstances. So we're just proud that we were part of this initial phase, which would start the rebuilding process for the community. So thank you.
Thank you both for your professionalism. Thank you for being here. I see comments, God bless our Army Corps, grateful for your amazing work. I know that resounds across the community. Every event that we've been to together, Colonel, recently, people are feeling a very deep debt of gratitude. There is a lot of healing that still needs to happen here. And I think it will happen through the rebuilding. Those of us who lost our homes, those who are trying to get back home, those who are trying to understand what a new Altadena will look like. However, this has been made completely better by your presence here and that of all of the Army Corps and all of the crews from ECC. So I am going to stop because I am not fit to continue. I see hearts from Nick. I see clapping. Everybody's very happy. We could have margaritas, but we don't. So there's that. Thank you for being here. Okay, we are going to move on to our the first reporting from CCAR, which is the Community Coalition for Altadena's Recovery. And I am going to turn it over to, am I right? Yes, I am, to Anish Soraya.
Hi, everybody. Just being a little selfish here, that is a very tough act to follow, so I will make this short. But before I kind of go into my report, could not echo more what both Colonel Abishal said, but more importantly, what Victoria Chernapp mentioned about the Army Corps. We could not have asked for better partners here locally to help us in that process of helping our community. I think the Corps has been an incredible partner, and Colonel Avishal obviously is somebody that really cares about the Corps itself, its mission, and most importantly, its reputation. I saw him spend countless hours trying to make sure that every person who had an issue got a resolution. I know I saw him at numerous events and many more that I didn't get a chance to see. So would also like to express our appreciation for their work and for Colonel Avishal's leadership in making sure that the work got done and it got done with care. But with that, I also, moving into the Community Coalition for Altadena Recovery, affectionately known as CCAR, I think Supervisor Barger put it best earlier. Her role and her goal in making sure that the recovery process starts and ends with our community is grounded in her belief that her decision-making is informed by the communities she serves. So we created the Community Coalition really as a way to try to bring all of the groups that historically our office has worked with in very close coordination to one table so we could help bring emerging issues to everyone's attention all at once. It's a great way to get instantaneous feedback and help us figure out next steps for ensuring that all of the issues we are discussing are transparently shared with the community, and making sure that these community groups can then help amplify the message of all of the initiatives, the specific issues and the challenges that may be arising are distributed through a network that reaches beyond what we can reach on a daily basis. And it's been a really good conversation because I think there are some issues we obviously never foresaw. And as we go into the rebuilding and recovery effort, we're finding things different, finding things every single day that we're discovering are going to need some resolution. And I know that I see Diane on screen, and obviously land use matters are really critically important to this community. And I know that Diane and I have spent many hours on the phone talking about street lights and landscaping and a number of other issues that are really core to the community standards district this community has fought to put in place and to maintain. But as we're going back into rebuilding, there are certain parts of it that may have made sense when there was obviously our community there before us that are now coming up as a challenge in terms of rebuilding. I think some of you have probably heard of the issues related to the location of garages relative to the setback of the front of the house. There's other parts of the code that have specific setback districts that mandate a specific setback from the property line compared to the traditional setback in the rest of the community. And so because these are very complicated land use matters and we don't necessarily have the chance to immediately go to land use every time, we're trying to triage these issues by bringing them to that group, get feedback, and then obviously move them on to land use to make sure that those decisions are brought in front of the right groups and that we go through the traditional process we always have. But there's a certain urgency to make sure that these issues don't hold up the ability for people to rebuild, and helps us understand as a county how we can address them moving forward, right? Understanding whether there's broad-based support or if it's going to require a more lengthy conversation. The real other really key issue that we are working through is feedback, right? We don't have our traditional processes. We don't have our traditional venues. And as much as we are driving to make sure we bring those venues back, it's been a great opportunity for engagement and disseminating information, right? I know that the block captain model has been put in place, another great avenue for distribution of information, receipt of feedback. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that these issues are brought to light and that we're bringing in engagement as often and as transparently as we can. So some of the other issues we've been talking about are, the challenges with the permitting systems. And so as we discover some of these issues, we're also hoping to get feedback, and that, Chair Knapp and, Vice Chair Arnzen have not been shy about bringing these issues to light. And that's been an incredibly helpful effort for us. Other things like the ARC that the supervisor mentioned earlier, we've been trying to make sure that those key pieces of information as they are coming forward to fruition are being brought to light, and we're sharing this information in a way so that we can get feedback that'll better help inform the supervisor's decision-making process. And really, I want to stress that this coalition really does represent a great cross section of the community and has historically always done so. So the supervisor's goal is really to make sure that the decisions she makes are represented by the feedback that come from all of our community. And we understand that there is an incredibly diverse makeup of this great community, and no one group or no 8 groups or 10 groups can really capture it all, but we're trying to do our best to make sure that we have a way to have that feedback loop to ensure that when the supervisor comes to decisions and ultimately makes those decisions, she has representative feedback from the community that she can use to help advance the needs and the desires and the goals of the community writ large. So with that, Chair Knapp, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Anish, and thank you so much for being here and so late into a Tuesday evening. Are there any, we're going to try to move on in the interest of time. Any questions about CCAR? We will be hearing more about that. We are going to rotate the members through to present at future town council meetings, so stay tuned for that. Okay, seeing none, we are going to move on to the library, and I will just ask our director to keep to her presentation. Where did she go? I can't see everybody. Where are you?
I'm here.
There you are. Yay. Go ahead.
Okay. I agree. I will do my best. Let me share really quick. I'll try to be really fast tonight. Sorry. Let's go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Those are some interesting things to follow. Thank you so much, Sunny. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and the Army Corps has been absolutely remarkable. So thank you for all the work you did. You will be missed. So real quickly, and I should do it as a slideshow. So we have 3 sites, which is really exciting. It's never happened before. Bob Lucas, and my next slide is about the reopening, is taking place Saturday, August 16th. And when we open on the 16th, moving forward, it'll be open 7 days a week. So it's really exciting news. Our main library will be open on the day of the grand opening. We had some summer reading programs already planned, but I did want to say that starting on August 18th, we will be reducing hours at the main library, including closing on Saturdays in preparation for the closure of the main library later this year. We really want to open Bob Lucas many hours and provide lots of services out of that branch. And let me tell you, it looks spectacular. Reminder, we have our Altadena Library at Loma Alta Park. It will be closed for the grand reopening at Bob Lucas, but currently is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. So bring your kids and bring everybody else to check out our 3rd site. So again, save the date. This is a picture of the children's space at the Bob Lucas Library. It looks even more amazing in person, I have to say. We're really excited to grand reopen it on Saturday, August 16th. It's going to begin at 10 a.m. And then we'll, once the presentation and the ribbon cutting happens, we're going to have a program that goes on till 1 o'clock. So bring the kids. It's going to be a carnival feel, face painting, food, you name it. It's going to be an amazing celebration. So hopefully we'll see you there on August 16th at 10 o'clock. Oops. In terms of our main library building project, we're scheduled to close and begin renovations in late 2025, early 2026. Do I really think it's going to start during the holidays? I don't, if I'm being completely honest. We're still working through the environmental impact report and the conditional use permit process with the county. So it is looking like it's probably going to start later, probably in early 2026. We are taking the request for proposals to our Board of Trustees at their meeting in early August, at which point we'll be able to go out and hire the contractor in coordination with the whole permitting process, as well as bring this project to the Land Use Committee with Altadena Town Council. So more to come. It's happening. It's just a little bit slower than we had originally planned. In terms of district budget, I'll be really quick. Our board did approve our fiscal year 25-26 budget. This was assuming backfill from the state to cover some anticipated property losses. Hooray that we found out that we were listed in the ABSB 102 when the budget got set in the end of June for $3.6 million. Big thanks to Senator Perez, Assemblymember Harabedian, the governor, and legislative leadership. This gets us about a third of the way to where we need to be secure for the next 5 years, but that's really excellent news and really what secured our ability to be able to move forward with the building projects and make sure that we had money to be able to do that. We're continuing to meet with LA County to obtain data on property statuses. That's important because of my next bullet, which is our Community Facilities District, or CFD committee, will be meeting on July 31st at 5 p.m. to determine the special tax assessment rate. This meeting will be in person at the main library or streaming on our YouTube channel if you're interested in attending or watching. This special tax, just as a reminder, is collected to replace the revenue that used to be generated by Measure A, parcel tax, which sunsetted at the end of last fiscal year, so June 30th. So it's meant to replace, which basically makes up a fourth of our budget, as well as the money we need to make the debt service payment on the bond proceeds that are being used to renovate both libraries. So the CFD committee has a lot to consider in terms of like where they're going to set the rate and what that's going to look like. I know that's confusing, and really quickly stating things. If you have questions or you know people that have questions, please direct them to me, either through the website or have them give the library district a call. Summer at the library has been really exciting. Tons of programs, tons of people showing up. It will continue until August 16th. Our community reading goal is 250,000 minutes. So please get on Beanstack and start tracking all the hours or minutes that you're reading. And there's still more than 50 events to enjoy this summer. So please check out the website. We also have lunch at the library happening at the main library. This will run through August 1st. It's every day, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. And almost all of the lunches are coordinated with some type of program. So please check that out, bring the kids and enjoy lunch. We also will be celebrating the end of our summer reading program on Friday, August 15th from 8 to 10, all ages. The movie will be Jumanji. We'll have popcorn, snacks, etc., and some like outdoor games and a game swap. So hope to see you there. We're also in partnership with a nonprofit called Families in Schools. They're going to be offering story times at both the main library and the Loma Alta Park Library. These are running from basically last week through August 23rd. Please check out the website, and children that are preschool through grade 3 will take home a backpack with books to keep. So spread the word for those that are trying to rebuild their home libraries as well. Just really quickly, lots going on as usual. We do have a shred day this Friday. Everybody loves shred day. If you have things like documents or files that you need to shred, please come between 8 and 12. We have puppets this Friday as well at 1 o'clock. We did partner with Hollywood Food Coalition and did a food giveaway last week. It was supposed to run from 11 to 1. All the food was gone by 11:30. It's fresh produce and fruit and other things. So this time we ordered twice as much. That'll be next Wednesday, the 23rd from 11 to 12. You can also check out our events page to get more information. I think Bryn also wanted me to highlight that we're going to be doing on Saturday, August 30th, because I'm not technically supposed to present again until September, a children's film festival at the main library. So spread the word. And again, lots of other amazing programs going on, including adult and children's yoga. Happy to answer any questions you have. Hopefully I kept it to 5 minutes.
I wasn't timing, but thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions, if you can, Dorothy, is it quick? It has to be quick. We're moving on to 8:30. No, you don't have oh, you're clapping your hands. Look, clapping. Yay, we love clapping. Clap it up for our library. Great. We'll see you on August 16th.
Yay!
Yay, very good things coming down the pike. All right, we are moving on to parks. I believe it's Sam Estrada. Or not. Did I miss Sam?
Chair, I do not see a parks representative here.
Okay, we are moving on. That's so interesting since he confirmed. Okay. Is someone from Christmas Tree Lane here? I do not see Scott either. Well, look at that. We just freed up some time. Inadvertently, I mean. I do know that the Friends of the Altadena Senior Center are here. Dale, please.
Yes, good evening, everybody. The Friends of the Senior Center is back. The Friends are back. We're doing everything possible to help our seniors get, I guess, applause. It's wonderful. The county was very generous to us. We have a room at Loma Alta Park, 3 hours a day for some of our programming. However, we have organized a lot of our programming in other places so that most of the clubs, groups, and programs are back. We have programs right now working at Jackie Robinson Center in Pasadena. We have some at the Pasadena Senior Center. We have some at the Sierra Madre Senior Center. We have some at a couple of other locations in Pasadena where people are meeting and doing their activities. We are back having field trips. Actually, this Friday we're going to the Hollywood Bowl to see the Tchaikovsky presentation, and that was a gift from the county. They gave us 50 tickets. There are still a few left if anybody wants to go. You can sign up at the Altaloma Park from 10 to 12 every 5 days a week. We are desperately trying to get back to whatever normal is at this point in time. Something that I just want to throw out there. We have a nice little pot of money which we were given to help us renovate ourselves and get ourselves going again. However, there's nowhere for it. There's no space. There's nowhere to go. If you know of anybody who has an empty building with parking that they would like to either donate the use to the senior center or allow the county to lease it for a reasonable amount of money, please contact us. We have people who are willing to donate the work to make it usable for the seniors, but we just need to find a spot. It would be so important to us because it's so hard for people who used to, they'd spend hours at the center visiting. Our lunch program is gone because there's nowhere to have it. There are things that are really important to these people. And if we had a spot, anything, it would be wonderful. It could be a warehouse building. It could be an empty store. It could be anything that's got a little bit of room where we can make it work for us. We'll do the work, but we need some help finding a spot. So if anybody knows anything, call me, please. We have trips coming up to the Grammy Museum, the observatory, the aquarium. The seniors are very active and they're having a great time. So we really want to keep them focused, keep them happy, and keep them active. Any help that we can get, we're thrilled with. I do have to brag on one little thing. We got a call from a senior center in Morro Bay, California. They heard about our plight. They had fundraisers. They raised a large sum of money for us. 3 or 4 of us are going up there next week to get a check. It's going to be a media event. It's really exciting. And there's only something like 2,400 people in the town of Morro Bay. They raised over $6,500 for us. We are so thrilled and so grateful and so proud. So we're out there. We're not going away. Please, if you know anything that can help us, get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
being here. Are there any questions?
And congratulations on the gift from them. I love that.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's lovely. Yeah. And I will brainstorm. We looked at a number of sites, possibly for USPS. And so we should revisit some of those and see if any of those would work. I'll keep you posted. Will you drop your email in the chat, Dale?
I will.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, we have 2 special presentations. The first is from CAL FIRE. Is Chief Daniel Berlant here?
Yeah, good evening, Chair Knapp. Good evening, members of the council. Recognizing it is a late evening, but thank you so much for having me at your council. It's exciting to be able to acknowledge this evening the work of the Army Corps of Engineers, but also to highlight the work you all have done in continuing on this recovery effort. Tonight, I'm going to give a very quick overview of California's strategy towards wildfires, specifically in community preparedness. Talk about how we continue to learn from science and research to continue to strengthen as the rebuild occurs, building a much more resilient Altadena, a much more resilient California. Talk a little bit, some specifics. I'm going to go quick because, again, I recognize that it is a late evening. But to start with here, California has been on this journey here with many communities like yourselves being very much tried by wildfires. But our strategy is a strong one, and that really relates in three major focus areas. First, response, ensuring that we have adequate firefighting response, equipment, technology. As many of you know, ahead of the LA fires, we pre-positioned 60 of our fire engines, 6 of our hand crews to support the County of Los Angeles. If you're not aware, CAL FIRE's jurisdiction it makes up about 1/3 of the state. Much of the foothill communities along the 210, just the upper edge, I would say, of Altadena is actually in CAL FIRE responsibility. But we have a great relationship and actually a contractual relationship with Los Angeles County Fire Department where they protect within LA County the state responsibility area. And so while you might not see the CAL FIRE patch on an engine every single day, through a contract and through funding, we do a significant amount of work with the County of Los Angeles. And so as we increase our staffing, we give commensurate increases as well to the County of Los Angeles to protect the state responsibility area. Community hardening is a critical piece of this. We know that we're not going to respond our way out of this wildfire crisis. During your time of need, obviously fire engines, firefighters, and aircraft are the priority. But as we take a step back and look at how do we continue to prepare our communities for the continued wildfire crisis, we really focus in on a number of things. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those here in a moment. But that is home hardening, defensible space, and community level mitigation. Our last pillar of our focus is forest health, forest management. There's been a lot of politics from DC telling us to rake our forests. And that has absolutely been a piece for the last 5+ years now of our strategy is, yes, we need to take care of our forest land. Now, obviously there in Los Angeles, it's not until you get to the Angeles National Forest and some of the higher elevations where we have much forested land. But all of these things have to be done for us to truly reduce the impacts and severity of wildfire. As I promised, though, I'm going to focus here on kind of community preparedness as you rebuild, but also as existing communities and existing neighborhoods within Altadena and the surrounding areas. What really makes the perfect community preparations to protect yourselves and your community from wildfires? And that really starts at the home level, home hardening. And I'll talk a little bit more about each of these in a minute, but it's kind of a nested approach around your home, performing what we call defensible space. This is removing dead or dying vegetation around your home, spacing your plants. I'm going to talk about a new requirement that's coming down the pike in the highest of fire hazard areas, and this is the zone 0 or the first 5 feet, removing anything that can catch embers that can spread to a fire. But defensible space is the vegetation around your home. But thirdly, in this kind of nested approach is fuel reduction efforts, whether that be putting in a fuel break between a neighborhood and the Angeles National Forest or an open land, whether that be maintaining green belts in and around neighborhoods. Community level mitigation is not just a fuel break, but it also can be activities like Firewise, getting the entire neighborhood focused on mitigation. Again, not just looking at the home, but looking at the entire neighborhood. This is a quick kind of image of, for us, what we would consider the full package of community preparedness. You can't just do one thing and call it good. It's really a systems approach. We have to have good land use planning standards. Now, many of our California communities, including your own, is built on infrastructure and roadways, evacuation routes that have been in place for, in some cases, nearly 100 years. But as we build more homes and newer communities, making sure that we're taking into account land use planning standards are really critical. And when I say land use planning standards, Most of that is related to evacuation routes, water supply for fire protection, as well as the infrastructure of the roadway. How wide is the road? How much weight can the road handle, or bridges can handle for firefighting equipment? But again, you can see the image I showed before of kind of the three core areas of mitigation spread out over a community. And not all of these elements are necessarily us as homeowners' responsibilities. Some of these are responsibilities of the county. Some of these are responsibilities of our utilities to harden their infrastructure. Some of these are responsibility of our builders as they build new homes. But again, to have the complete package for community preparedness, it's doing all of these things together. So when I say home hardening earlier, that really is either the building of homes to a building code standard that we've had in effect since 2008 in wildfire-prone areas, which incorporates building materials and building practices that make the home more resistant to the embers or the ignition of wildfires. Home hardening can also be retrofitting homes. And this is an important component here, because 90% of the homes that are in wildfire-prone areas were built before the current building code. I know many of your homes in your community were built well before today's standards. And so getting them hardened is an important piece. And this can be anything from, as you're upgrading windows, whenever that comes, make sure you're doing double pane and ensuring that at least one of those is made of tempered glass. Easy things that can be done overnight, putting gasketing or rubber around your garage to seal the garage itself. Many garages naturally have small areas or on the edge or underneath where air can still get through, but actually using a rubber material to put around the outer edge of that garage seals the garage so that those embers can't get in. That is a easy hardening home improvement you can take. Putting metal mesh screens over your vents that are small enough to still let the air in, but don't allow for embers to get in. Again, these are the components of home hardening. Defensible spaces, I mentioned, was kind of the outer edge around the home. We still want beautiful green grass. We want landscaping. You can see this is a really drought tolerant image, but you can see they have flowers, they have plants, they have lawn, but they've spaced it 5 feet from the home itself. You can see in this image, any of the leaves from the nearby trees have been raked up. They've picked up any of the weeds or the dead material. And so defensible spaces, the concept is really to make sure your home looks like a park-like setting. It's green, it's well manicured, but it's spaced out. It's open, but still green and colorful. This video shows in a simplistic image this new Zone Zero, and I'm going to show you a little bit of science in a moment. But essentially, one of the things we've learned from recent wildfires is that homes that have grass and mulch and other items. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to one side here. Other things that can catch on fire that are ignition capable right up against the home. And that could be your trash can. That could be plants. That could be bark and mulch right up against the home, puts the home at risk. And so what we're really trying to move towards is ensuring that new homes here into the future that are built have this ember resistance zone. A law was passed in 2021 by the legislature that would require this in the very high fire hazard severity zone areas, the highest level of hazard. That would, again, require some level of modification. It's still under regulatory development, not by our agency, but by the Board of Forestry and Fire Protection. But you can see there's still potted plants. There's still trees right near the home. It's just somewhat spaced away from the home itself.
Chief, it's Victoria. We are over time. I'm just going to ask that you wrap it up if you please can. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I would be, yep. And let me just, as I skim through here very quickly, showing again how you can accomplish an ember resistant zone. The last thing I will just mention here is the governor took action last week. We were there in Pasadena, signing an executive order, really helping to hold the building code, which is expected to be updated in January, holding any new development to the 2022 code. And so that should make it easier to be able to plan and continue to do the rebuilding without going through some of the bureaucracies of a building code change that would normally happen. However, the new requirement still includes these wildfire ignition resistant materials. And so new homes built and rebuilt will be built to the standard itself. And we look forward to continuing to support, whether it be through grant resources or other funding, to help through that process. So I'll leave you with this because, again, I know you are running late into the evening. This is our website, readyforwildfire.org. You can find a lot more resources on home hardening, on community resiliency, as well as defensible space. So thank you so much for the opportunity to join you this evening, and I will turn it back to the chair.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being here so late into the evening. Do we have, I know you sent this in advance, do we have this version of the deck? So that
we will make sure if you don't. So you can share that. Okay, Nick is shaking his head no. We'll make sure that that this presentation gets over to Nick tomorrow so that you can share that with the group.
Okay, and is it okay to post to our website?
Absolutely.
Great. That'll be a great resource. Okay, we are going to move on to
Jeanette.
Yes.
I do have one question for the chief. What I would like to know, I have a constituent, well, several constituents who reached out to me regarding the burn perimeter as defined by CAL FIRE. Is this something that you're able to address, sir?
Yes, so the fire hazard severity zones?
No, she's asking about the DINS report, I think.
Oh, okay. Why don't I would be happy to drop my email into the chat to you and connect, and we would be happy to follow up on whatever the issue on the DINS report that we can help support.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief. Appreciate that. All right, folks, moving on to San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control. Anais.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to share my screen very quickly.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for having me this afternoon. I really appreciate the time, and I'll try to be as quickly as possible. As you mentioned, my name is Anais Medina Diaz. I'm the Director of Communications for the San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm here to provide an update on the work that our district has been doing or has completed the past couple of months to help protect public health in the area. All right. So I'm sure you've all heard a little bit about mosquitoes early on in the year. The Eaton fire created unimaginable destruction to your community, and it continues to affect so. But the fire also created mosquito breeding sources throughout the area by leaving behind non-functional swimming pools that are ideal sources for mosquitoes to grow in. One non-functional pool can create 3 million mosquitoes in 1 month if not addressed. I'll be sharing how the district is responding in an effort to prevent a subsequent public health emergency due to mosquito-transmitted diseases. As of early May, the district was monitoring 1,400 pools in and around the burn area. However, in the past couple of months, we have seen more pools brought back to functional or empty, so this number continues to decrease as recovery progresses. This dramatic increase in mosquito sources creates a threat to public health. Locally, we identify West Nile virus every year because it is endemic to the region, and its primary vector breeds in large sources of water, like unmaintained swimming pools. Additionally, we have detected local transmission of dengue in the San Gabriel Valley, a disease with ongoing outbreaks around the world. In 2014, the state confirmed 18 cases of locally transmitted diseases in the San Gabriel Valley. 11 of those were in the San Gabriel Valley. These stagnant water basins and rising temperatures create a heightened risk for Eaton fire survivors, workers, and San Gabriel Valley residents. By the end of June, however, good news, we were able to complete initial mosquito control treatments to all of the confirmed non-functional pools, for the exception of a few that have no access, either because they were denied or we just have trouble accessing the property. This was done with the help of our neighboring vector control districts and through a resource allocation from Cal OES and CDPH. We continue to monitor non-functional pools. We're running a few studies to ensure that the products that we are using, which I'll talk about in a second, are effective as the label states. Additionally, we sought funding to support our efforts long-term. We reached out to the San Gabriel Valley Legislative Caucus to ensure that there was some funding available to us through the state budget. And so far, they've let us know that we have been funded a budgetary amount to continue this work as recovery continues. We're also conducting routine surveillance. Current trap data does show that mosquito abundance in the area is not any higher than expected. It is on average, but it is higher than the last 4-year average. So we do see that our treatments are working to suppress the mosquito population, and it is at the average of the entire district. Additionally, no disease activity has been detected to date. So that's great news, not just here in the Altadena, Pasadena area, but also throughout the San Gabriel Valley. So it's a quiet year for us, thankfully. Now for the mosquito control treatments, how are we treating these pools? Well, the pools are being treated with a residual larvicide product that controls mosquitoes up to 90 days. Half of the pools were treated at the beginning of May, and the second half were treated by the end of June when all resources were allocated by Cal OES. The products that are being used are very target specific and only affect mosquitoes in their aquatic stages. They are not harmful to pets, mammals, birds, humans, or any of that sort. The district may also use mosquito fish, which provides longer control. However, this will depend on whether the water is suitable for mosquito fish to survive. And 2 additional treatments are necessary to control mosquito populations this year. We're beginning the second round of treatments this week, and we'll likely complete those next week. Now, lastly, to almost wrap this up, aside from all the efforts that we're doing in the Eat and Burn area and in Altadena, it is still the summer season, so you will see mosquitoes outside of this area. So, of course, we want to stress that in the warmer months, mosquito activity throughout the region increases. So it's very important to prevent mosquito bites by using an effective repellent. Purchase a mosquito repellent with one of these 4 active ingredients. There are so many products out on the market. Please ensure that it has one of these 4 active ingredients: oil lemon eucalyptus, DEET, picaridin, or IR3535. You only need one. It doesn't have to be all 4. And with that, I will wrap that up. I hope that was really quick. This QR code takes you to our landing page for our district on our Eat and Fire response, and any ways that you can sign up to continue to receive updates when we continue to do any treatments, or if there's an increase in mosquito activity or disease activity, you'll be able to check that out there. So without further ado, I can answer any questions should you have any.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the thorough presentation. I know that this is something that's been on the minds of a lot of folks as we move into and through the summer months. Are there any specific questions regarding mosquito abatement or anything regarding standing pools? Anais, will you just drop the email again in the chat so that if folks need to report anything or have concerns, that council members know how to reach you?
Yes, absolutely. I'll drop my email, and then also just where folks can submit any requests for service as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. And then if we could share those out after the meeting, folks. Thank you for being here. Okay, folks, we're going to try to move through our committee reports as expeditiously, if not as quickly as possible. So I'm going to turn it over for our special election to Isis Molden, who chaired this for us. Thank you so much, Isis.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you again for being here. I'd like to give a quick report on our election committee. Thank you for your participation and engagement on our special election for Census Tract 4612. Our outreach included posting to the town council website. We printed flyers, digital flyers. We also had a feature in Pasadena Now. We also did cross promotion on Altadena Focus Facebook groups, social media groups, and chats. And we also did outreach through our council members. They contacted their emailing lists, and we also did in-person engagement with local businesses. And through that, we were able to attract some wonderful candidates, 6 in total, which they will be here to present to you their statement of qualifications and also introduce yourselves. I also distributed to all of our council members their statements in writing. a couple days ago for your review. And then I'm also going to, in the chat and also on our group text, send you the link to vote. Please vote for one. The way that the voting will work is that you select one candidate and the majority will win. If there is a tie, our chair will break the tie. It looks like we're going to have 13 people voting, and so the majority will have to be above 6. Without further ado, Chair Knapp, do you want to announce the candidates, or do you want me to go down the list to see if they want to give their 90 seconds?
Do you want to do it in alpha order?
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I have it here from our earlier text. Do you want to call up the first person? And then, Nick, will you time just for efficiency? Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Linsenmayer, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yes, Bruce Linsenmayer. I live on Pepper Drive in Altadena, and I appreciate this opportunity to be considered for the appointment for the open 4612 seat. I know that you've all received my statement of qualifications, but tonight I just want to say to you directly that I'm a long-lived Altadenian. I grew up here in Altadena. It's my hometown, and I really want to help in our recovery and rebuilding a new Altadena. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Is Robert Follett here?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Robert Follett. Thank you for the time. I wanted to quickly just thank, Supervisor Barger, FEMA, the Army Corps of Engineers, this town council for doing an incredible job, the incredible job that they've done to pick up this community from the literal ashes. I was born and raised in Altadena and Pasadena. My dedication to this town is grounded in both personal experience and active involvement. I volunteer regularly through work on local trails, helping to preserve the natural spaces that make Altadena special, as well as neighborhood and school events. My wife is an equestrian and an advocate for that community, which plays a unique and historically significant role in our town. We are also raising our children here. Our kids attend local schools, both John Muir and Altadena Elementary, and this fuels my commitment to ensuring a safe, inclusive, and thriving environment for all of our families. Professionally, I work with people. It's what I do. I bring experience in leadership, communication, collaboration, which I believe are essential qualities for effective council service. I'm particularly passionate about preserving open space, enhancing community safety, and ensuring that Altadena remains a place where families can flourish. We have a long road to recovery ahead of us, and having people in place that live and breathe Altadena will be a difference maker on how the community rebuilds. January 7th really changed everything in our town, and through the disaster, I saw our neighborhood, Census Tract 4612, come together as neighbors should, helping one another in many ways. I want to build on that strength and within our community and be a voice. The last thing I'll say is that, Census Tract 4612 is made up of both surviving homes and homes that were completely lost. And they each have their own unique set of challenges. And I just want to be a big voice for both groups. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Justin?
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Justin Moramus. I live at 1836 La Paz Road. Thank you for the time tonight. I appreciate the opportunity. Just to give you a little bit of background on my end, I'm trying to be as more and more involved in the community as possible. I'm a member of the Library Board of Trustees, and I've had a wonderful time working with Nikki over the last few months on those facilities projects that are up and coming that are going to help, I think, anchor the community moving forward. Professionally, just so everybody knows, what I would like to bring and think that I could bring to the census tract and the town council is that I'm a land use lawyer by trade. So I work with the government agencies, whether it's public works, county planning, regional planning, the supervisor's office. I work on CEQA documents all the time. I'm sort of attuned to the conflicting nature of moving quickly, getting things done right the proper ways, the different needs of the community. As was just mentioned, the census tract has quite a few homes that are still standing and being remediated, homes that are being rebuilt. We have the golf course that was mentioned earlier that's going to be going through its restoration process. We also have commercial properties along Lake and Allen. And my background, I think, lends to being able to bring not just the community together, but the technical experts, the government officials to come to sort of consensus on these items that as we move forward, I think are going to be challenging to get through, but we're going to get through it. And I'd love to be able to serve on the town council. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I think Meka is here. And if I mispronounced that, please correct me.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Micah May. I am a lucky, at this point, 8-year resident of Altadena. I'm over on Murata Place. And I feel like I'm on a unicorn of a street. Our block is intact. And I'm this block in particular, I'm very proud and close to. I've been a Map Your Neighborhood facilitator for earthquake preparedness and more shelter-in-place sort of preparedness since 2020. And I've also signed on as the Altogether neighborhood captain for the same block. Plus, we've brought in more of our neighbors on Murata Place south of the golf course. And beyond that, I'm just an Altadena mom. My daughter attends Field Elementary School. She's lucky to have gotten back to her original class and her original campus, even her original teacher who lost her own home in the fire. And in choosing my first home to purchase, Altadena was really what called to me. The quirks, nuances, just story times at Bob Lucas is what helped me raise my kid. It was connecting with those first few people who would become my babysitting co-op partners, those folks that we would see at softball games and joining soccer leagues together. Everything about Altadena's personality in terms of family friendliness, tree-lined dog walks, all that's what spoke to me. And I feel very drawn to just community building and creating something beautiful for people to come back to, because I know this is all work. I'm a project manager by trade. I could do animation production. I could do startup tech marketing, and all that multifaceted stuff can help me and help the community too.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Robert Montano.
There we go. Unmuted. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And excuse my fancy lights in the car. So I appreciate the opportunity to address the Altadena Town Council. What a great group of candidates. My name is Robert Montano. I live at Grand Oaks and Berendo with my 2 high school aged kids. My daughter attends LaSalle. My son attends Maranatha. I consider myself a kid of the San Gabriel Valley. I've lived in Azusa, but I went to Sequoia School for grade school, and I went to LaSalle. My circle of friends are from the Pasadena, Altadena area. I moved to Altadena a number of years ago, and I was just drawn by Altadena, its proximity to the outdoors. I'm an outdoorsman. The lack of streetlights has been wonderful. The ability to see stars here in the urban core is wonderful. My professional background, and one of the reasons that really intrigued me in this, is predominantly in the public sector. I had spent the first 25 years in the public sector working for the County of Los Angeles, the Community Development Commission, for a number of years, actually doing work on Lincoln Avenue. And then later went to the city of Pasadena, where I worked in planning as an economic development professional. And then later in the city manager's office, where I coordinated a number of business entities, residential groups. I sat on the Visitors Convention Bureau and the Pasadena Center Operating Club. I have a strong familiarity of how to bring together disparate groups, translate English to English in the sense of dealing with codes and planning. But now professionally, I'm also in real estate development, and I think I can bring some of that, at least dialogue and knowledge and awareness, and I'm happy to present my name. So thank you very much, and I appreciate the consideration.
Thank you, and thank you for being here tonight. And finally, we have David Poehler.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. Wonderful to listen to all the advancements that are being made here in our community. I'm originally from Sierra Madre. I grew up in the foothill communities, active in the local mountains, hiking, outdoors kind of life as growing up as an Eagle Scout here in the local communities. Ultimately, Reggie Wilkins lives up the street from me, and a week and a half ago came over to my house and asked my wife if she'd spare me for service to the ATC, and she said yes. And then Reggie asked me and thought that it would be a good fit. Professionally, I'm a vice president and partner of a mid-sized general contractor. I build institutional projects, hospitals, most of which are in this community and all over the state of California. I build for NASA JPL. My experience as a construction professional has provided me with an understanding of community planning and development, public utility functions and operations. And my experience there includes oversight of design, project management, construction services on both public and private projects, and incorporates the management of design and construction of new facilities, rehabilitation, retrofit, utility upgrades, and relocations. So I'll use my professional experience, education, and knowledge of the local environments to help our citizens and community organizations deal effectively with the prevailing municipal entities to ensure our best interests are represented. I think effectively and ultimately Altadena for the next 5 years as a construction site. And I think that it will serve the council well to have somebody that does that for a living sitting on the council and ensuring our best interests are met. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. Thank you all for coming forward. Thank you all for wanting to be engaged in this community, certainly during this time of rebuilding and recovery. I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Molden to sort of go over with the council members what the voting process will be.
Excellent. So I've shared with you all the link to the Google form, which then you will vote for one candidate. The majority will win. If there is a tie, our chair will break the tie. Did everybody get the link? I sent it in our group chat and also on the Zoom link. If anyone's having any trouble, please let me know. Also, is there any questions you guys have or further discussion you'd like to have before we start the voting process?
Isis, I have no clue where to look.
It's in the chat. Diane, if you look, or Pat, if you look at the bottom, your screen should pop up and it should say chat. The link is in there and she sent it to the ATC group text.
I'll send it to you directly.
That would be a help, but then how do I answer?
You're just gonna, you're gonna click the link and all of the names are there. It's a radio button. You click the button for the candidate you want to vote for and hit submit.
Yeah.
It worked for me.
I have 8 votes. We're looking for another 5. I can see who voted and who didn't.
And Pat, I just sent it directly to you on your phone chat. Do you want me to email it to you or?
No, I was just looking in the wrong place. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I've got 11, so I'm waiting on 2. I've got 12. There's one more. Did we lose someone from the meeting? Like, did someone drop off from our original quorum?
I don't see.
I'll get a count, Chair.
Sure, please. Thank you. There's 13. Thank you, Vice Chair. You were the good luck charm. Okay, give me just a second to look at the summary. Okay, so with 13 responses and 46% of the vote, our newest council member, let's welcome Justice Morales. Chat it up, clap it up. Thank you, sir. 46.2% of the vote. Hold on a second. I had to get back to the Zoom. I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought here. Thank you, everybody. I see clapping happening here. And then To that end, I'm going to turn this over to Acting Captain Marquez to swear you in, and then you'll be seated with us. Go ahead, sir.
Do they need to raise their right arm, right hand?
He should raise his right hand, yes.
I have not seen him on here. Is he here? Is he?
I'm on. Yep.
He's here and he's raising his hand. I
Okay.
can see him.
Okay,
There he
great.
is. Go
Yes,
ahead.
congratulations. Please raise your right hand. Do you accept the position bestowed upon you on behalf of the community, and do you pledge to faithfully execute all duties and responsibilities and to uphold the town council's bylaws and ethical standards in your term in office?
I do.
Congratulations. Welcome to the council.
Thank you. And thank you all for the time.
Thank you and welcome to Census Tract 4612. Thank you, Captain Marquez, for swearing him in. And thank you to the other candidates. As Vice Chair Arnzen indicated, there are many ways you can see from our committee reports to get involved. We welcome your involvement. That is often a stepping stone to being on council in the future. Thank you, Chair Molden, for your diligence on this, and we look forward to the upcoming general election in November. All right, land use, turning it over to Chair Markison.
Yes, the Land Use Committee met 2 weeks ago on Tuesday, and we had one item to review, which was the rebuilding of the McDonald's at Washington and Altadena Drive. They are going to be expanding their drive-through area, which is good news, but also what triggers their review through the town council. So they are going to be presenting on August 5th at our land use meeting. If you're interested in seeing what they're proposing, they're going to expand they're actually adding square footage, and they're going to expand the eating area and all of that. So you're welcome to come hear the plans on August 5th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We'll publish that. And we will be reviewing new items coming up as well. So stay tuned. We'll get the information out as soon as we have it. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Councilmember Markison. Legislative Committee, Council or Chair Marona.
Hi, I'm going to bring to your attention a few bills that are presently affecting Altadena that are in the California legislature. One is California Senate Bill 256, titled the Electrical Infrastructure Wildfire Mitigation and Emergency Operations, which aims to enhance the state's preparedness and respond to wildfires and other disasters related to electrical infrastructure. Some of the key items within this bill are improved coordination with emergency services. So electrical corporations and publicly owned utilities need to collaborate with the OES. It's very strongly worded language that will affect the CPUC regulations here. Strengthen wildfire mitigation plans, address prioritizing infrastructure improvements. But one of the key things, and one of the things that I think is the most important in this bill, is the fact that it will address permanently abandoned facilities, such as transmission lines that are no longer in use that could very well catch on fire or spark and cause a disaster against the mountains. An important bill, this bill has been amended this bill has been amended multiple times, and the information above reflects the latest available amendments. And you can find the whole full text and the history of the bill on the California Legislators website or other legislative tracking information websites. Assembly Bill 797 is known as the Community Stabilization Act. The thing that's most important here is that it aims to prevent predatory investors from snatching up cheap fire-damaged homes, protect homeowner equity, and stabilize property values. It creates a new investment tool out of the governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. If you want more information on this, please feel free to reach out to me. These are very important to Altadena, as well as Supervisor Barger brought up another bill, which is Senate Bill 782, and that bill is necessary for the EIFDs, the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing Districts. Thank you. Tried to get that all out quickly.
And you did an excellent job, and thank you so much for that. I will turn it over to the Bylaws Committee, Chair Chipola.
Thank you to all the council members who have agreed to sit in this committee. I do appreciate the time you will commit to it. First meeting announcement, Monday, August 4th at 6 p.m. I will see you guys on Zoom, and I'll send out information about the meeting after that, after this meeting. Thank you.
That's great.
Councilmember Chipola, I would like to be added to that committee, please. This is Councilmember Aronson.
We'd be honored to have you on the committee, Councilmember.
Great. So first meeting, August 4th, 6 p.m. via Zoom. Thank you so much. Moving on to our Communication Committee, Chair Arnzen.
Thank you. Really quickly, we've been actively looking to improve communications. I won't go into the details, but I will say that after reviewing a proposal from a local resident that works in the field of PR, and it's been great to hear from them. They've offered generously to kind of put forward an effort to push our communications out in a more efficient and effective manner. So it's the social impact firm that offered this up to take us on as a client pro bono. It's a free offering. I will certainly turn to the full council to review their proposal, but I want to thank Bree Jensen and their nonprofit arm, and especially the creation of the DINA report, which will help us blast to the community on a weekly and monthly basis more information to get it into their hands efficiently. I'll have more details next month as we iron out those details with the full council. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your work on that committee. And our Education Committee, Chair Molden.
Hi, I just wanted to briefly let all the council members know that this will be our last meeting with their interns. They'll be returning back to school in August, and we're hoping that they can come and join us in an in-person meeting where we can present them with certificates. But thank you to all our interns and their help in adding extra youth and vigor to our meetings and contributing all that they can. So thank you, interns.
Thank you for that. It is very possible that we will be back in person for our August meeting, so let's keep our fingers crossed for that. And thank you to the interns for being here tonight, for going so late into the night, and for your studiousness. I like that word, studiousness. Please don't look it up. Okay. And then finally, from our Altadena Eaton Fire Recovery Fund Advisory, Co-Chair Morona.
Thank you.
Chair, I think we missed our renters. I think we missed
sure did. You know what? Yes, I did. I'm so sorry. We'll come back to it. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead on the fund first, and then we'll come right back to it.
Certainly. The Altadena Eaton Fire Relief Fund opened applications on June 26th, and we closed them the deadline of July the 6th. If you applied after that, unfortunately, we are not able to review your application, or the advisory committee is not able to do so. We received over 3,000 applications, which is such an indicator of the great need that still exists in Altadena. We need to supplement the existing fund. And so if you are so inclined, we ask that you give. You can give to EatonFireFund.com, which goes directly to the GoFundMe.org page. And we would love to get more money to be able to give more money out. As such, because it is an overwhelming response to the fund, and the community volunteers that are overseeing this fund are doing their best with all of their applications and are starting to identify the first phase of grant, which will be distributed shortly. We have sent a good portion of the first phase to GoFundMe that does their own due diligence, and then the funds will go out. We hope we can continue to distribute, but we will need more donations and are actively searching for more so that we can fundraise and continue to give to this great need in Altadena. But I'm sure the people that received the first phase will be very excited, and it should happen hopefully by the end of July. And we are notifying people if they were not selected during the first round within the next week or so. So thank you.
That's great and great information. And yes, to anyone who is watching this, especially if you are a funder and you want funds to go directly to Altadenans, you can see that the need is there and it is great. And there's a lot of grant funding going to nonprofits that are going to help in our recovery and rebuilding. And that is not the same as getting it into the pockets of fire survivors throughout Altadena. So we will be doing a campaign for that, as Councilmember Morona said. Okay, and I'm very sorry, Dr. Green.
Oh, that's okay. I'll go really quickly. I'm so pleased to report this update. We had given out the address 170 North Halstead for this affordable housing unit. And the reason I really wanted to talk about it was because they've sent out their first round of confirmation letters to people who applied. We were able to get 25 people signed up. There are 48 units available. The important thing that I wanted to note tonight is that you will get an email from processing, and I'll put this in the chat, processing@crpaffordable.com. It's imperative that you reply to that email so that they can put you on the next round of applications for this incredibly affordable housing unit that will be in Pasadena. We're also finally got a date that I'll put on our website for August to host our very first in-person resource clinic for displaced renters. We received so many letters from a lady named Ellie about how recovery has to include renters. So the work is certainly being appreciated. And last but not least, we have one more announcement that our next meeting will be Wednesday, August the 6th. And all of this gladly will be on our website. Thanks to Kim Yu and ISIS. They make sure that these things get promoted. So thank you so much.
Before we move on, I did want to share one piece of information today at the Eden Fire Collaborative. There were funders present, and I had a very direct and specific conversation with one who is going through their third round of grant funding, and they are specifically interested in funding for renters. They believe that group has been tremendously overlooked. So I just wanted you to know that we had that conversation, and I supported them, and I implored them to really figure out how they could reach our renters in Altadena.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. It was great. It was a great conversation. It was great to see that there were many people that were on board with that there at that meeting as well. Okay, I think we've made it through all of our committee reports. We have just a couple of things left to do. The first is general public comment, and I will turn it over to Councilmember Chipola.
As a reminder, public comments received through noon today will be read into the record now during our public comment section. ATC does not respond to comments during the meeting, but if the resident submitting noted a desire to follow up, the appropriate council member will reach back out to them, and public comments are limited to 2 minutes. So Nick, keep me on track. First up, as I noted at the top many hours ago, this is on behalf of Mark Mariscal from the Rotary. The Rotary Club of Altadena is inviting all community members to attend the July 26th summer concert at Loma Alta Park wearing their different Altadena shirts and hats. There will be a group photo shot, and we hope to have at least 500 participants. It starts at 6:40 p.m. just before the start of the concert. Hope to see you there. Switching windows. Our first public comment comes from Patricia B. Hello, I'm experiencing a lot of issues and unnecessary stress over the lack of property line markers. I have a survey, but some neighbors are confused and are worried about their property line. I've heard that other neighbors are having similar issues. Where are the round metal property line markers and what they used to be at the curb? Is the county going to replace them? Our next comment is from Leanne at 3184 Olive Avenue in Altadena. Hi, I have a question around property lines for the rebuild because I'm personally finding and also hearing from many that there are a lot of encroachments of fences that are not correct. I just wonder if there's any thought in having markers installed, as in many other cities, to help alleviate the issues arising. From Leanne. Our third comment comes from Shanetta. Good morning, Altadena Town Council. Thank you for all you do. I have a request for my 13-year-old Maxwell. He attends Odyssey Charter School and is a big soccer player. We live close to Charles White Park. Thankfully, our home was spared, but we have a rough journey replacing everything. Being displaced for months while remediation took place, we are home now and grateful. Maxwell loved Charles White Park and was so excited when it was finally finished. He'd wake up with his friends and play soccer in the open field. He has a request. Could permanent soccer goals be installed at the park? We know before the fires, soccer teams would gather on the weekends to play. Maxwell and I drive to different cities looking for soccer goals. Is there a chance we can make this happen? We would love to go back to the park for some normalcy and practice. When will Charles White Park be open again? And can you put permanent soccer goals in the field? Thank you for your recommendation. Kindly, Shanetta. Next one is spam. And last is from Erica Warnock. What is the status of the repair of the bridge? We were told there would be a pedestrian walkway available starting July 1st, and that the work on the temporary bridge would start on July 1st as well. So far, nothing has changed. No work is being done. Can we expedite this in any way? It's an extremely important bridge for those of us returning to our homes on the west side of Lincoln who have to go or want to go to Loma Alta Park. That's from Erica Warnock. That concludes public comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Chipola. And make sure you route those to the council members who could respond. Also, council members, if a public comment is routed to you, then at our follow-up meeting, we'd like follow-up on your answer to the constituent. We should have answers on everything that was raised tonight, or be able to get them. And if you need direction on how to get an answer, please let me, or if it's a land use issue, Diane know, and we'll be able to help direct you. And thank you, Councilmember Chipola. Moving on to our census tract reports, one of which will have something to do with Charles White Park. I will turn it over to Councilmember Molden.
Good evening again. So we're excited to share an upcoming opportunity for residents to connect with new public art being developed for Charles White Park. We now have a date and a location to meet the artist Wesley Clark. It will be Monday, July 28th at Loma Alta Park from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The event will be free. It will be hosted by the LA County Departments of Parks and Recreation, as well as Arts and Culture. You're going to learn about the new public sculptures that are going in the Charles White Park location, hear directly from the artist, and also have an opportunity to participate in hands-on sculpting workshop using air dry clay. They ask that you RSVP to Civic Art. It's CIVICART at arts, plural, .lacounty.gov. And I will be posting the flyer on our Instagram as well if you need more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And 4612, is that going to be Councilmember Wilkins?
That was my mistake, Chair Knapp. It's 4611. It's Councilmember Stuart Cohen.
I can't say welcome to my new colleague. They can do all the hard work, and I'll take the credit as how I like to do things.
Okay, great.
So nothing's changing.
That works, Reggie.
All right, 4611.
So my report was information regarding the Cal Fire, the burn zone. But since we're going to speak offline, then I'll come back and give a report.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you for that. All right, folks, it is 9:23. Sorry for the chaos at the beginning. Thank you for your participation tonight. Thank you for your contributions tonight. And thank you for your steadfast protection of Altadena. We will see you at our next meeting. Look for information as to whether it will be in person. That is the goal. And I believe, oh my God, I cannot get out of this chat. Our meeting should be on August 19th. So 7 p.m., August 19th, in person at the community center, unless you hear otherwise. And I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Great. Good night, everybody. See you at Old Malta Park. It's Sergeant Pepper on Saturday night.
Bye.
Thank you for everything.
Recording stopped.